Okay, the math professor is on the air. If you could say you're on the air when you're videotaping. Okay, and we
your meeting ID followed by pound. Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, you are in the meeting now. There is one other participant in the meeting.
okay, and I believe that is going to be young James, who I already saw on the other on my email, had joined us. All right. Today I want to spend more time talking about animation in PowerPoint presentations. And I want to start off by showing a bit of animation that I created years ago to illustrate part of a lean production presentation. That was the actual Jose Vanguardia. All right, so you'll notice spaghetti charts, the title comes up, then it comes up with a little explanation of what a spaghetti chart does. So this is the layout, theoretically, of a shop. And I have to then press now, in this theoretical layout of a shop, I have my worker there, who you can see, right? He's standing at his beginning position, right? I press the forward button, and right, so this is illustrating how we draw a spaghetti chart. We follow the person through the shop as they do their job and draw a line for all of their travel. This is something we use in lean production to illustrate how much walking, traveling, transportation there is for a particular process. All right, so here's our spaghetti chart, and I can't remember if I have to press the button again. Apparently I do. All right, so this is a notional operation, but it's based on my experience as a lean production and work measurement analyst, right? So, but you saw how my worker was traveling back and forth. I could have made it even more illustrative of how somebody travels, but it took a long time to create this slide and the slides that come after. All right, so we can also do a spaghetti chart of just the product moving. Right, but again, all I've done is take my original animated idea and improve on it a bit. All right, so here's after the improvement, the little work area that our operator works in has been tightened up so that he's not going to have to travel so far. All right, and so our work cell has been reduced in size. No steps were eliminated. But some steps are being allowed to run on their own now, rather than the worker having to be there. And some of the clutter in the shop has been eliminated. All right, so here's our guy starting off. He starts with the widget, he goes to the arbor press, he goes to the parts Kanban, the lathe, back to the workbench, to the drill press, takes it to the cleaning machine, then he puts the part on the outgoing Kanban, and a guy comes by to pick up the part. He drops off parts and picks up the finished product. All right, so now we have an improved process, right? And we show just the travel of the our operator, and just the travel of the widget. All right, so now, obviously this animation is very simplistic, but it took a surprisingly long time to create, right? So let's go here to, you can see our, this is the, in fact, let me make this a little bit bigger. This is what it looks like behind the scenes, right? I'll go to animation here, and you can see here that that I had to put over and over again. I had to put in some of the same pictures, and some of the same ideas. And draw some different things. For example, where it says free form here, what that means is these little lines that illustrate the travel. Right, and then I can go ahead and hit play all, and you can see in the animation pane what it's doing back and forth. As it goes along, and it's illustrating right, and now it's gone. All right, so you can see this, obviously this took a while, and let me go down to the improved, here we go. Right, so you have things popping in and out. You have things like this text pops in. We have the water strider here, who is off the slide and then goes across the slide, theoretically dropping off a new widget and the parts needed, and picking up the one that's been finished. Right, and you can see his little route of travel here. All right, so all right, good. James, you can see the new PowerPoint, the blank one I just pulled up?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. All right. So, how do we start off always?
Save.
We save. All right, so we're going to save to Computer Skills file. This is going to be homework number 11, ENGR 123, and today is 10/5/2020. And of course, I put my name on there. All right, so I save that. And to me, to an extent, it's like a toss-up whether I go to the master slide first or whether I save first. But either way, at this point, I want to go to the master slide, or the slide master, as they say. And of course, if I change up here, everything will everything will be changed. So I go to Times New Roman. I hate to inflict my personal taste on everyone, except that it's very fast and easy for me to check if you guys have changed when I go to Times New Roman. Now again, go to this very first slide to change, because once you change that, all the other slides will change. A few times I've looked at your presentations, and what you've actually done is changed, like the master titles slide, you changed that, but you didn't change some of the others. And, you know, it's becomes a bit of a situation. Now let's also introduce the idea of inserting and go to header and footer, and what I actually want is the footer. And in the footer, put your name and homework number 10. This other little footer slide, footer that's automatically in there, you can actually use to number. And where is my footer? There you go, header and footer. Put in the slide number. You'll notice all I have to do is check here, and it's automatically telling me 10-5-20 over in my lower left. All right, so that applies to all. All right, now I go back to my slide master, close the master view. All right, so all right, so I'm going to put my title as animation slides and my subtitle as homework number 11. Uh-oh, I've already made a mistake. In the footer, I put homework number 10.
Where are you supposed to put the footer? Or the homework number 10? In the center bottom?
Right.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and just put my whole name because what the heck. Now I've noticed that on a couple of presentations I've been in such a hurry that I didn't put my name on and you didn't put your names on. So that made it a little more difficult because I'm having to look and say, all right, I just printed out the homework for Charlie, write that on the actual presentation. All right, but again, go back to insert, header and footer, and homework number 11. 11, very important. Number 11.
You don't want it, do you want it to show on the first page or no?
I'm gonna say dealer's choice
Okay.
on that. Um, uh, I am going to click on date and time, but I'm going to click off, click on fixed, not update automatically. And you'll notice you have the choice of Gregorian. Oh, it won't let you choose Julian calendar. Too bad, that would be interesting. The Julian calendar, I don't know if you're familiar with this, and of course I love pontificating, so the Julian calendar, actually, we number the days of the year, right? So January the 1st is 1, January the 2nd is 2, right? It's very easy in January, but then you get to February, March, April, and you got to have like a little chart to tell you what is the Julian date. And of course, since you have leap years, that means that every 4th year, you can't use the same chart as the other 3 years. Oh, bloody hell. Unless we could have, I don't know, we could have February 29th be 59A, but no, we don't do anything like that. I bring this up because sometimes in engineering and technology, there are still people that use Julian dates. For example, when I worked at the Corpus Christi Army Depot, they would mark certain documents with the Julian date, not with the Gregorian date. All right, whatever, man. All right, so, let's put in a new slide. The idea of animating bullet points. Of course, we often will have various bullet points on our so we break our presentation into bullet points for ease of reading, right? You just throw a big mass of text up on the screen.
Mr. Whiting?
Yes, Winter.
Yeah, which type of a new slide did you select?
All I did was hit the new slide button, and it gave me the ordinary title with content, right? If
Okay, I didn't get to see it because we're only seeing the new spaghetti chart still.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh, I am shocked. James, you lied to me. Oh, this hurts. All right, there we go.
I'm almost seeing that.
Well, why didn't you tell me that you weren't seeing the new presentation?
Because you're talking about Gregorian numbers.
I can see it now, thank you.
Okay, well, yes, I made an adjustment. Okay, well, you know, I thought, here, Victoria, I thought that was so interesting to be talking about Julian versus the Gregorian calendar, but no. And that's even before we talk about the fact that the Russian calendar is actually 2 weeks behind. So for example, we have Christmas on December the 25th. They don't have it until what is to us January the 6th. So there, take that, straight line thinkers. All right. All right, so winter, this is the button I clicked on, and I get the ordinary title with content slide. If I go down to the lower part of the button, it gives me the choice of the other kinds of slides in case I have some reason I want to use one of them. But if I just click up here, it's going to give me the title and content slide. That's the one we end up using the most. All right, so we don't want to throw a mass of text at the audience all at once. We want our content to be broken up for easier reading and absorption. Is that how you spell absorption?
You're missing a P.
I'm missing a P?
Isn't it absorption with a P?
Maybe.
I don't remember.
You're absolutely right. There should be a B and a B, not two Bs. Which might bring up the idea to be or not to be.
Or P.
All right. In fact, I noticed there's one thing I didn't do when I was on the master slide, and I want to do that now, and that is to go ahead and enlarge my text there. All right, so I'm going to save that, go back to Slide Master and close Master View. Now, you'll notice though that what that has done is it's made all of my points longer, so that now they're all on 2 lines. So I'm going to contemplate that in a minute as far as shortening those. All right, this helps pace our presentation. All right, I am going to remove an absorption from this. Uh-oh. And in fact, I'm going to change this to content is broken up. I'm going to change this to, oops. Don't throw a mass of text at the audience. And I'm just going to start with bullet points here. Yeah, that's a ticket. All right, and I could have some other points that I want to illustrate here. But what I want to do right now is I go to animations, and so I'm on the animations tab. And over here I've got a button that says add animation. Now, I could have a whole bunch of animations brought in. Let's see the animation pane at the same time. Where I get things to appear, such as I've done here. I do a click. Oh, I have to actually go to slideshow, and then I do a click, right? And appear is the easiest one, because then it just shows up, and I'm doing it on each push of the button. Right? Now, if I don't want to, well, let's think about another way. So that was appear. I could also have fade. All right, so, oh, okay. Oh, pardon me. The problem with having allergies is in the time of COVID, as soon as you sneeze, everyone's looking at you like, oh my God, he's contagious. Unclean, unclean, make him wear the scarlet letter. All right, so that didn't actually work out quite the way I thought it would, right? But I could put in timing so that it's on click and then it's delayed by however many seconds, and it kind of breaks it up into half seconds, right? So the shortest delay is half a second, and you can go up from there, right? on the text animation block there, it will tell me, how do you want to animate this? Right now it's by the first level paragraphs, right? But there's only first level paragraphs. What I want to do though is I want to get rid of this. There you go. Right, everything is on the first level here. So I could create sub points. Right, breaks up the presentation. Faster absorption with a P. Don't throw a massive right, don't throw a massive text at the audience, they won't read it. You'll move on before they can. All right, I'm going to close the animation pane for a second. Now, one of the problems that you have as you add more points is you're likely to start putting in so much stuff that it automatically is reducing the size of your text, right? And that's not something we want. We want our text to be consistently sized. All right, so I've checked it now, and we can do some things that will stop that. For example, or at least slow it down. For example, I might increase the size of the text box on an individual slide to make sure that, that my text doesn't decrease in size. Or I might say, you know what, this is getting to be an awful lot on one slide. So what I could do is I could come over here and copy and paste that and then say, all right, I'm going to go with my first 2 points here on my number 2 slide, and I'm going to get rid of these, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get rid of the points that are on the last slide, and put my sub bullets or my sub points in oh, chunking makes it quicker. Present at an appropriate pace for the audience. Going too fast will lose them. Right, so I could keep going and put all kinds of ideas in as far as that goes. Pace to the lowest common denominator. All right, so anyway, I've got enough on my 2 now. Now, I go back to my number 2 slide here, go back to animations, get my animation pane. All right, and I'm going to go back to my timing. All right. So now, if I know my presentation well enough, I can just time every point coming up, so that it's going at the pace I'm going to be talking. The problem with this is, what if somebody interrupts you with a question, or interrupts in general, or you have a coughing fit? Right? Now you'll notice it still says group text by first level paragraphs, right? But I can do it by second level paragraphs. All right, so now I go ahead and I hit my my button, and you'll notice it waited the 3 seconds before it brought in the point. Then I've hit my button again, and it waited the 3 seconds again, right? 3 seconds is probably not a good one for this, but what I can do is I can come down here for timing, and instead of on click, I can go with after previous. So that means, oh, and you wiped out my timing. All right. All right, so whoop. All right, so now it's automatically timing each one to come up 3 seconds after the previous one. Right, and my third slide is still on first level. So you'll notice it threw the first bullet point and its sub-bullet points up all at once. right? And then, and it's on click. So, so I click, and it throws up the first level bullet point with its second level. So, right, and what I can do is, well, I mean, there's all kinds of things I can do here. I can, where's my timing button? Oh, death, where's thy sting? Here I go. All right, good. Man, now we're at bytes. They really want that. Okay, here we go. All right, so look, I'll turn off my timing here. I'll leave it on click. And I'll go to my second level paragraphs, right? And you'll notice I could go to third level, fourth level, fifth level, although, man, if you're getting down to fifth level, I think you're getting too far into the weeds on any one slide, right? You need to reconsider your strategy and break up into more and more slides. All right, so I could add animation to these. For example, I could have them fade in. Oh, damn it, I forgot about that. All right. All right, so let me, oh, all right. One thing that's frustrating is sometimes when you change something, it changes something else back to the default. All right, so here we go. All right, so it's fading in now, and you can see that that's a slightly different way of doing it, right? It's not that much different than appear, right? But we could do all kinds of crazy animation things. For example, we could have everything could fly in. Right. Now, when I say chunking, it's not chungking like the city in China. I want to make that perfectly clear. It's chunking is an idea in psychology that our brains can only take in so many chunks of information at a time. And a lot of things are broken up so that we can absorb them more easily. For example, if you tell someone your telephone number, you're going to say it as the area code you're going to say, distinct from your, gosh, what do you even call it? The preliminary 3 digits, and then the last 4 digits of your number. but you're gonna break it up that way. You don't just rattle off 10 numbers to somebody. Why do we do it that way? That 3 numbers and 4 number idea was actually originally put together by some engineers from ITT during World War II. ITT, International Telephone and Telegraph, was kind of a big deal at the time of World War II. And the government was going to draft a whole bunch of their engineers. And ITT talked to the Army and they said, well, look, don't just take our engineers and disperse them all over. Why don't you take them all and put them in one outfit, and it'll be a really smart outfit that can do research and find out things for you. They actually invented that 7-digit phone number idea, that you have the initial 3 numbers and then you have 4 numbers. And they said that is much easier to memorize and remember than if we just throw 7 digits at you. Of course, other countries have gone with different schemas. For example, in Europe, most phone numbers are 6 digits long, and you have country codes more than area codes like we have in America. But I digress. So anyway, that's the idea of chunking, that we break things up. For example, your Social Security number is naturally broken up into 3 segments. A 3-digit number, then a 2-digit number, then a 4-digit number. This candy tastes funny. I hope nobody with COVID has been playing with it. No, I'm kidding you, of course. All right, so look, there's all kinds of ways we can have this animation work and come in. Right, so this is kind of the fly-in, right? But we could also have said, you know what, I want to have the grow and turn, right? Where I'm, as I'm bringing things in, I'm having it kind of loom up out of the background and it's turning into place. Now, again, don't get too fancy with this stuff, right? Because if you do, you get into that thing where you start overwhelming the brains of your audience and they start checking out, right? And we've always got to remember, this is entirely so that we communicate with people, and we mustn't do it in a way that creates confusion, or they're like, oh bloody hell, because the more you fool around with this stuff, the more it seems like you're just trying to be all glitzy and you're not actually delivering content. All right, now, however, when you email me this homework, I do want you to do some kind of some kind of animation on these slides so that I see, yeah, you understand where things are and how to click on. And oh my God, there's so many of these, you just can't even believe it. Right, and we can make it come in all kinds of different ways. I mean, oh my God. Anyway, there you go on that. So now, one of the things. All right, so I'm going to start a new slide here. Go back to home, and I'm actually going to go for a blank slide. So I go to down to where it actually says new slide, and I go to blank. Now, why have I gone to blank? Because I want to create something. I want to create something that I can animate. All right, so I look at that and I say, well, what can I do? I could do my I could recreate my little worker that I've done before, right? This is looking down at the top. This is his body, right? I format the shape. I make sure that there is a solid outline in black so I can see. I'm not a super huge fan of the kind of blue color they give you as a default. Hey, what happened? All right, fill. All right, so I'm going to go with this more red. Is it showing up as red? Oh, thank God. This is what I'm talking about when I tell y'all about the differences in projectors when you go to different places. One reason you never want to get too fancy with colors is that you don't know how they're going to read unless you have a chance to practice with the projector that you're going to use. So for example, here on my PowerPoint presentation, it looks like a pretty strong red, but I look up here and it's a lot more washed out and orange. All right, so there's the body of my guy. I'll go ahead and I will give him a head. His head needs to be a little bit larger than that. And centered seems kind of important. Right, I might, oops, that was the wrong button. right, I might put a little, oops, that's not what I want. I might put a little bill on his cap here. I want to fill. Oh. Right, now you'll notice it's not, it doesn't look so much like the bill of a cap as a rectangle on top of a circle. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to my circle, and I'm going to bring that forward. Yes, bring that forward, so there you go. Right? Well, it actually looks more like he's wearing kind of welding goggles. Right, but I can come on. All right. Well, he's got a very large bill on his cap. Right, I come down here. We want to show that he has arms. We assume people have arms. Right, so I make one, then I copy and make another, and you'll notice my little alignment tool is just automatically showing me where the arms stick out the same amount. Right, I want to go to arrange then and send to back, send this one to the back, right? And I can change the color on those. Let's see, the line, I want a solid line, but I don't want it to be blue, I want it to be black. And I want the same thing here. Right, so creating this kind of stuff is really a lot of time figuring out what does what shapes do I have to put together to make something work. Right, this is obviously quite crude. Yes, sir.
How did you color his arm to that part? How did you cut it off?
Oh, all I did was I went on the shape, I go to the arrange button,
Okay.
and I just send it to the back.
Okay. All right.
So that way the body is ahead of that. And all right, and he needs little hands. Oh my God. You could draw in hands. Okay, so there you go. A four-fingered hand with splay. Okay, but obviously that looks pretty silly. I could bring in a picture and put it on there of hands, but you know what? All I'm gonna do, I'm gonna delete that, and he's gonna have the same kind of little a little oval hands that I gave my worker before, right? So the fill for this, I'm gonna make it that's kind of pink. There you go. Right, I'll copy that so that I have another hand for the other side. Right, again, my little alignment lines will let me put things together. Right, now I notice I've got this wee tiny little square there that I must put in accidentally. So I need to click on that and delete that. Because what I'm going to do now, right, so I have this, but if I have to duplicate this every time that I'm going to use this figure, oh my God, how long is that going to take me? Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of these, and then I'm going to press the Arrange button, and I'm going to hit Group. And now it makes everything into one picture. Okay, so that's pretty super easy then to deal with, because I'm going to go ahead and copy this and have a guy that's going this way, and I'm going to copy it again, and I'll have a guy that's going this way, right? However many ways I want.
You right click and arrange, and then group.
Right? Does everybody see how that works? Right, so however many ways I want to have my guy pointing so that he can be in my illustration, and I have a point for making all of these like this. Right, so that's all I had done. Oh, you'll notice this guy's off the charts a little bit. Move him over so he's all the way on. In fact, here, I'll move this guy over so he's not in the way so much. All right. Now, you saw how my animation worked in my original slides, right? It was a bit herky-jerky. It could have been smoothed out more, but by the time I was getting close to finishing, I was kind of like, oh, bloody hell, let's get this over with. All right, so I'm going to add a new slide here, right? And again, I'm going to go with a blank slide. I'm going to go to the animation, right? Oh, get rid of format. Go to the animation, and I'm going to take one of my guys here, copy, go here, paste him here. All right, I actually want him to be over here. And then I'm going to animate him going all the way down to motion paths. Right? And I can do a straight line, or I can do an arc, I can do a turn, I can do a shape, I can do loops, paths. Loops, that sounds interesting. All right. Of course, it turns out I don't actually know how I'm going to do a loop. All right, so let's try that animation there. Okay, well that was just not as exciting as I thought it would be. Right, but again, I can do a line where I say, you know what, no, I want you to go over here. All right, so that if I hit slideshow, I hit my button, my guy walks off over there, although it would have made more sense if I had possibly used the diagonal guy. But the great thing is, I can change it to diagonal guy. Right? And I might think, oh man, that's, you know, that's just kind of fast. Let's go over here and do timing and say, you know what, 2 seconds. Let's go to 3 seconds. That's going to look better. Right? All right. So that looks more like a natural walking pace. Right? Or I might say to myself, you know what? This guy is like super slow. So we'll go to 5 seconds for him. All right. Having done that, then I could go ahead and copy another guy and Move him over here. Right, again, go and, you know what? I want him to do an arc. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna define where that is. Well, apparently I've never done an arc before. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, anyway, look, this is just a very this is obviously just a super simple way of having fooled around with this. Now, one thing I could do is, for example, here on my second guy, I could say start after previous, and I could also have him appear. Okay, so you can see he's not here yet, right? The first guy does his thing, he goes off the screen. My second guy appears after previous. Uh-oh. Should have left him doing his thing there. All right, so starts on the click, he goes off. My second guy appears. And is he going to do his thing here? All right, I've screwed up the start after.
For the first guy, how do I change the direction? Mine, he just appears that goes down.
All right, well, what happens is when you put in that line, you'll notice it. There's a little dotted line with a circle. All right, if you move that circle to where you want him to go, then he'll go there. So, uh-oh. There you go. There's my little circle. I move it down here. All right, so now starts on click, comes over here. Ah, should have had him disappear. All right, so when I go to affect options, one of the things I can do is I can hide after animation. Right, so I've got my guy, he moves over here, and then it looks like he just turns around for the next thing. Look, play around with this stuff. I mean, you know I've said that on everything, but this is where playing around really takes on a new significance. Because learning to create some little simple animations really can be a very useful for you in the future. You want to illustrate something that's a little bit more complex. You could do it with an animation. Let me show you one more thing, because we're really kind of out of time here. So you'll notice I've got this one slide. I've got all of these, all my guys pointing in different directions. I might not want to delete this slide, but go to slideshow, and I'm clicked on this slide, and I'll just go hide slide, so that if I do the show, right, it just hides that slide from us. Right, and I've got that slide with the pictures on it that I may have put together at, you know, some amount of difficulty if I want to change things around some. All right, well, that's pretty much it for today's lecture. Are there any questions? Okay, you questioning young minds. Boy, you're blowing me away here. Go ahead and save your work. Send it to me by email, and I know I can hardly wait to see what your creative minds have come up with. And that will be it for today, if I haven't already said that. So have fun. Wednesday we're going to have a guest lecturer. I know you can hardly wait for that.
A guest lecture regarding what?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How do you make your second person disappear before the first person?
Oh, okay. You need to